Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to the Lost Files of Sherlock Holmes, the case of the Serrated Scalpel. Where last time we were making a bit of progress, but we hit a bit of a dead end while looking for the address of a taxidermist who is apparently relevant to the case in the ever-expanding rogues gallery of suspects and witnesses in the Sarah Carroway murder case and the possible missing persons case of her sister Anna Carroway. We don't know for sure if she's missing as yet, but certainly no one's heard from her for a little while and no one seems to know where she is. So, a few things we can try today. At the end of the last episode, we came back to this tobacco shop here, where previously we climbed up these cigar crates to have a look at this stuffed moose head on the wall. And that gave us the name of the taxidermist, John Bradley, May 1885, but didn't give us an address, which in retrospect was a little bit strange. I'm just wondering if there's anything else we can do with this moose head. Can we move it? We can move it. On the back of the mahogany board, some text is engraved into the wood. It reads, Oxford Taxidermy, 188 Oxford Street, London. Okay, well, that was a lot easier to sort out than I thought it might be. So, and just like that, we have a new lead to follow. So let us go and follow that lead. There it is, Oxford Taxidermy. Despite its blue-grey colour, this female is a great red kangaroo from the inland plains of Australia. A Thompson's gazelle whose thoracic cavity has been sliced open. The animal's hide shows signs of deterioration, doubtless the result of the long trip from the Serengeti to London. The edge of the table is covered with many of the tools of the taxidermist's art. A small stock of saws, cutting pliers, needles of various sizes, thread, crooked awls, and a camel hair brush. A heavily soiled and smelly smock hangs on a brass hook. It appears to be too small to comfortably fit the man working at the table. Who doesn't appear to mind us just wandering around at the minute. A relatively large, middle-aged man stands over the cadaver of an antelope, deftly digging into the animal's inner recesses. He exercises what appears to be deep concentration on the job at hand. This large pail is partially uncovered, and the unmistakably pungent odour of formaldehyde assaults the nostrils of those around it. Excepting those of the specimen, of course. Alright, well, let's have a chat with this gentleman. Excuse me, Mr. Blackwood? Ah, good day, gentlemen. You just missed Mr. Blackwood, I'm afraid. I'm Lars Sorensen, his assistant. Perhaps I can help you. I'm Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. We're assisting the police in a murder investigation. Very thrilling work, I'll wager. We don't slaughter our corpses here. These victims are deceased when they arrive. Very droll, Mr. Sorensen. Perhaps that's what passes for professional humour here. Where is Mr. Blackwood now? Out, obviously. How does Mr. Blackwood spend his evenings? I have no idea. I'm his employee, not his guardian. What was Mr. Blackwood's interest in Miss Sarah Carroway? I'm sure I don't know. I've never heard of the woman. Might we look around the shop, even though we already have? Help yourselves, but I warn you to exercise great care. To whom does this smock belong? And to Mr. Blackwood's. I take better care of my equipment. He's a very messy fellow. Okay. I'm sure that's fine. A heavily soiled and smelly smock. That can't be the only thing we need to do here. Watson, what do you make of the animals here? Definitely the same workmanship as the moose we saw in the tobacco shop, Holmes. If nothing else, this Blackwood is an artist worthy of his craft. I forget exactly who Blackwood was. Can we search Watson's journal? Blackwood. Oh, that's right. Okay, so he bought something from the girl in Covent Garden, didn't he? Holmes said to Leslie, I'm looking for a man who bought some pink carnations from you. So I guess he was the one who sent the flowers. He was the secret admirer for Sarah Carroway. There doesn't appear to be much else that we can do here. Some of the taxidermist's chemical preparations are open and clearly contribute to the foul smell of the workshop. The jars are variously labelled: burnt alum, chlorine of lime, saltpetre, arsenic, camphor, tincture of musk, and salt of tartar. Oh, wait, I see something. What is this? This knife could easily be mistaken for a surgeon's scalpel were it not for the fact that the blade is slightly longer and its cutting edge is serrated, presumably to saw through an animal's hide. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's a serrated scalpel, you might say. I'll just borrow that. What is this knife used for? Well, it's not for slicing roast beef. Please be careful, it's extremely sharp. I use it for separating skin from the soft tissue beneath it, among other things. Like murder. I believe a knife like this was used to kill Miss Carroway. Perhaps this very knife. Your situation is serious, Mr. Sorensen. I'll see you charged as an accessory to murder if you don't assist me. It is urgent that I find Mr. Blackwood. No need to threaten me, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you what I know. I overheard Blackwood making an appointment to meet someone at the Surrey commercial docks. That's a huge area. Can't you be more specific? Sorry, that's all I know. Except that knife there belongs to Blackwood. Give us a brief description of Blackwood, if you will. He is of medium build with a grey hair. He wears a top hat and a monocle. Mr. Sorensen, could I ask you just one more thing? No, Mr. Holmes, I've told you everything I know. Now you must excuse me, I need to finish this gazelle before it rots. Alright, well, that's definite progress. Now, I suspect it won't have added the docks to the map yet because we don't have enough information. Okay. Well, we've got what is possibly the murder weapon, which is progress. Another lead we need to follow up on is Anna Carroway's flat, which we haven't been able to get into yet. But I must confess, between recording these episodes, I actually went back and rewatched some of the previous stuff that I did, and I was reminded that in the drawers of Anna Carroway's dressing table in her dressing room in the theatre, there's a ring of keys. Several keys of various sizes adorn this ring, so I'm just wondering if these happen to be her door keys. Although quite right she'd leave them at the opera house. I believe the demands of good manners have been satisfied, Watson, because we did knock on this door a multitude of times in a previous episode, as you may remember. If there is anyone inside, they are either incapacitated or they don't wish to see us. In either case, we must enter. Indeed, let us proceed. Watson, what do your powers of deduction tell you about this house? Is it occupied, or are we alone? I know that guessing is anathema to you, Holmes, so if you don't mind, I will reserve my opinion until I have some facts. A charming photograph of two adolescent girls dressed in light-coloured taffeta. They both hold sunbonnets, and the sea is visible in the lower left corner of the scene. The smaller girl appears to be a much younger version of the murder victim, Sarah Carroway. The older girl is presumably Anna Carroway herself. One of two dragon trees, Dracana Draco, that grace the spacious foyer. They are particularly lush specimens, but appear to have gone without water for longer than a caring horticulturalist would allow or recommend. The plant sits in a well-turned ceramic pot glazed in royal blue enamel. Yep, that's the same thing. This is a card with some printing on it, but it cannot be read from here. There are two calling cards in there. A lavishly engraved silver plate rendered in Louis XIV style. Anna uses it to hold the calling cards of prominent visitors. Alright, so who's been paying a visit then? This card presents the name and address of a certain Jacob Farthington, barrister of Gray's Inn, London. This card bears the name of Antonio Caruso, printed in an almost illegible Florentine script. A leather-bound, well-thumbed musical score and libretto of W.A. Mozart's Magic Flute. The parts sung by the delightful character Papagena are underlined in pencil. Okay, that looks like most of the stuff we might be able to get out of this foyer. Can we go this way at all? We can. Interesting, eh, Holmes? This decor contradicts the taste indicated by the furnishings in the living room. Perhaps Miss Carroway is possessed of more than one personality. I doubt it, Watson. I suspect this decor reflects the judgment of the house's previous occupant. Remember, Miss Carroway only recently took up residence here. Certainly got very creepy music in here. A long cedarwood chest of the type usually found in the bedrooms of respectable houses and used to store bed and bath linens. A collection of silk pillows and brightly coloured afghans are neatly stacked inside. They are perhaps intended for the aid and comfort of the card players on wintry evenings. Nothing of interest there. Okay. An orange-wood whist table inlaid with cerulean blue marble serves as the decorative focus of the room. The wooden surface is scarred with more than one unsightly cigar burn. A cavernous Queen Anne-style easy chair covered in purple velvet. It has seen better days. A fireside chair covered in the same unusual Chinese red damask that serves as a covering for the entire room. A large number of so-called ancestor portraits, hunting scenes, pictures of horses and dogs, and one study of a particularly large woman emerging from a bathtub. The pictures are conventional, inexpensive, and bear no discernible relation to one another. One of a matched pair of porcelain vases. They are poorly executed imitations of a type associated with the Tang dynasty. The vase is empty. A large clock, decorated with crystal and false gold, dominates the imitation marble mantel above the fireplace. It appears to always read 12 o'clock. A small latch on the right side presumably provides access to the works and winding mechanism. And stuff. The mainspring and inner workings of the clock are badly tarnished and rusted. This machine has suffered from years, perhaps decades, of studious neglect. Nothing immediately springs to mind to do with that clock, but it's interesting that we can open it. Okay, well, let's look elsewhere first, and perhaps come back here. An impressive oak staircase, highly suitable for dramatic entrances into the living room. On descending the staircase, one looks directly across the hall into the Chinese red parlour. There's the deaf old housemaid. Ah, the housekeeper. Good day, madame. No response. Caruso did not exaggerate the woman's condition, Watson. She seems to be extraordinarily hard of hearing. We must speak to her immediately, but I don't want to frighten her. A miniaturized version of the incomparable Venus de Milo. In this marble rendering, the lovely lady's arms have been restored. She stands on a polished She stands on a polished granite pedestal, on top of which lays a thin layer of dust. A brightly coloured ceramic bowl filled with Spanish oranges. Their delightful aroma competes with the smell of cleaning carbolic and furniture polish, and loses. Oh my, don't startle me so, young man. What are you doing here anyway? Are you a friend of Miss Anna's? Excuse us, madame. We are looking for Miss Carroway. You haven't brought in any dirt on your shoes, have you? I trust not. Pardon our intrusion. We wish to speak to Miss Carroway. Don't whisper, young man. How did you get in here anyway? We have a key. From Miss Carroway. We're looking for her, actually. You're not the only ones. A fancy man was here earlier, interrupting me, keeping me from my cleaning. Like I told him, I haven't seen her all day. You can wait for her downstairs if you must. I have my cleaning to do. Might we have a look around this room? Certainly not. Miss Carroway barely allows me in here. I clean as best I can, but she has strict rules. I have orders to never ever touch that statue, for instance. Not that I want to, mind. That shameless woman has no clothes on. Now go downstairs, please. I will not. 3 brands of distinguished and expensive French eau de cologne sit on the bench at the foot of the bed. A silver-plated Swiss music box designed like a carousel. The top of the carousel appears to be removable. An enamel bowl filled with winter apples. The fruit is well past its prime. It may be merely decorative. Dr. Watson might observe that Miss Carroway does not evidently subscribe to the old adage, an apple a day, etc. Please leave those things alone. You and your companion are disturbing my house cleaning. I would be grateful if you would both leave this room. Well, I think it's clear what we need to do next, isn't it? A lovely scene, rendered in the naturalist style of the mountain valley near Salzburg, Austria. A particularly lovely room, is it not, Watson? Do you see anything of interest? Only Miss Carroway's housekeeper. The woman applies the concentration of a diamond cutter to a job that any child can do. People are strange, Holmes. Watson, we must find a way to make that woman leave the bedroom. What do you suggest? She seems fixated, as that Viennese doctor says, on her cleaning. Perhaps we could make a mess somewhere downstairs to distract her. Capital idea, old friend. Let's do it. How can we effectively scour the Surrey commercial docks for Blackwood? Perhaps the redoubtable canine, Toby, can help. Indeed, Watson, he just might be able to pick up Mr. Blackwood's scent. And where is Toby the dog? I don't know. Let's one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Let's sort this out first. If we can. We need to make a mess. How are we going to make a mess down here? With what we've got. Are we carrying anything that would make a suitable mess? I mean, I guess there's lots of things we could spill, but... The previous occupant must have been a dedicated card player. Why do you say so? Because the entire room is designed and decorated for the comfort of people sitting at the whist table. You're quite right, I'm sure. A most peculiar room, is it not, Watson? Yes, but clean, you must admit, Holmes. Very clean. Is that a clue? There we go. What a terrible mess you've made. A small pile of potting soil. Now, will that be enough to upset the housekeeper? Excuse me, madame. I'm afraid we've knocked over a plant downstairs. What? Dirt on the floor? Out of my way, young man. Alright. Now we open the thing. There's a small ornate drawer in the bottom of the music box. It plays a tune. A small built-in tray holds the key to the music box and 2 pairs of earrings. Neither pair appears to be particularly valuable. Feels like I should be able to pick that up. It plays a tune. A small built-in tray holds the key to the music box and 2 pairs of earrings. No. Can't pick up the whole music box. Oh, she also said never touch that statue as well, didn't she? Okay. There's a book under it. A small leather-bound volume sits inside an indentation, or an indention, carved in the pedestal. And that book would be what? It's a diary! It appears to be Anna Carroway's diary. Her private thoughts, feelings and movements are recorded in a neat, regular hand. The most recent entry is lengthy. In brief, it reveals that on learning of her sister's death, she hired some detectives, experts in the recovery of stolen property. She believed her sister's jewellery would be pawned by the killer. The jewellery itself was not particularly valuable, but a letter whose value is beyond description was concealed in the pendant. The entry ends with the chilling sentence, "If they are not successful in recovering the pendant, I will be alone in the world, my poor sister dead, and my child lost to me forever." Ooh! The plot thickens. There's got to be something else we can do with this, and possibly the clock downstairs. The top of the music box is hinged, allowing access to the winding mechanism. Use music box? Nope. Use drawer. Move drawer. Close drawer. There's a sparkly thing in there. I want the sparkly thing. Yes, we're at that point where we're trying numerous random things. Right, well that was the draw in the theatre, wasn't it? Doesn't appear to be much else we can do. So maybe it is just the... Maybe it is just the diary we need. Alright, well... I guess that will do for now. Okay, let's pause there for today, because we've made some progress there. We've discovered some new things, we've found some new locations, and all sorts of things like that. So we'll pause that there for today. So it just remains for me to say, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.